right, good people in the building. Your boy Philo with Checkpoint Digital. We are going to open up Premiere and get started on a mini project. As it's loading, I want to take the time to just say go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Checkpoint Digital, brand new media company. Actually, it's not brand new. The name is new, but basically Bama Studios getting a makeover. For those of you guys that know me from Bama Studio. Why is Premiere taking so long to open up? Let me close out the extraness. I'm sorry, my AC just came on. Hopefully that's not too loud. My microphone does a great job of picking up sounds directly in front of it because it is cardioid, so hopefully it ain't picking up too much. There we go. Got Premiere going. I got my big bro Shife here with me, so in case you guys hear me pause or he have any questions, disregard. Hopefully I answer a lot of you guys' questions while we're going through this video. So let's create a new project. We're going to browse to the location where we'd like to save this project, and I'm going to place it in the transfer Shife folder. We'll rename this Performance Highlight. And we'll hit OK. Alright, so if you notice the layout, you have your program window, you have your source window, your project window folder, which is still a window, and then your timeline. What I like to do, just so I can see my workflow, because we read from left to right, I like to have my media in this top left corner. As some of you that might not know, if you double click in that media folder or in that media window, you can go right to, where did I save this? You can go right to your, transfer Shife, there it is. You can go right to your Finder if you're working on a Mac. And what I did to select both of these clips for import, I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to click the bottom one. I'm going to click import. All right. If you notice, if I double click it, the video, the raw video, pops up in this source window. This is what many people describe as your preview window. So as you notice, nothing here is on the timeline, but if I decide to grab the video only, and so I click drag and bring it on the timeline, you'll notice information is now on your timeline, and also this monitor window. So this is the final, this is what you'll see after everything is edited on your timeline. All right, so I'm not ready to do that just yet, so I'm going to click, I'm going to hit delete, and we'll get rid of that. But notice your timeline now has 3 channels of video here, 3 channels of audio, and for this highlight video, we have 2 raw clips from a performance. And so if I hit play, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I'm not sure. I probably should have put on headphones, so this, hopefully this isn't feeding back. Yeah, so we're going to be grabbing video from this clip. Now, if I wanted to take a portion of this video to add to my final edit down here in the timeline, 2 ways to do it. All right, if I go to a section in the video, and I hit the the letter I, it'll create an N spot. IN. All right, so this you're selecting where you like the clip to begin. So this is in, and I run it for a few seconds. Right next to the letter I is the O. If I hit O, that is where the out marker will be placed. All right. Once I have my selection, I can grab this entire thing and drop it on my timeline wherever I like. I'm going to put it in the beginning. Now, if you notice, I'm going to open this up a little bit. So notice the cursor changes to this little guy right here that allows you to widen your view of the wave. All right, I could do the same thing for the video clip, but not really a need to do that. So I kind of keep that where it is. I do like to do this with the audio, and I'll explain that later. All right, but for now, let's talk about a couple things. All right. So I noticed this yellow bar. Might not mean nothing to you right now, but it will later. This yellow bar lets me know that this video file has not been rendered. All right, so I'm running on 32 gigs of RAM. So what I'm able to do with this yellow bar is play my video. All right, so notice it plays. I can stop it. I can rewind it. Fine. If you are running a computer that has 8 gigs or 16 gigs, you may not be able to play this yellow bar without skipping or lagging. Right? So what you need to do is you want to go up to the sequence and you're going to hit render in to out. When you hit render in to out, notice it turns green. That means this video and any of its effects, which I haven't placed any effects on it, all right, have been compressed into the video file, and it is now ready to play. Say it again. The whole video is there now? No, just the portion. Say yeah. So yeah, good question. So the portion of the video that I drug from the source window is the only thing that gets rendered, not the entire video. So notice if I come back up here, I hit I, and then I click forward and I hit O, and I drag this video down to my timeline. It's yellow. Why? Because I only rendered the portion of the video that I selected. All right. So let's go back. I'm going to delete. I want to point something else out. The other way that you can mark what you want is to simply come here where it says mark in. All right. I can play it forward a little bit. Decide, oh, I want that clip. I like that clip. And then mark out. All right. Now, one thing about this video, because I know my end goal is to place music on it. All right. If you notice, if I just take the screen and I drag it down, see that part has already been rendered, so it's green, and then the rest is yellow that hadn't been rendered yet. So if I drag this down, you'll notice I have something on the video track, and then I have something on the audio track. All right. So I got two things here. What I don't want is the audio from this video source. Why? Because I'm going to place music on top of it. All right. So let's see. I have my selection. All right. Notice this says drag video only. This is where you would click and drag to only bring video to your timeline. All right. Say for instance, I'm going to delete that. Say for instance, I only want to drag the audio from this piece. I could bring down just the audio. Right. So this kind of helps so you don't have to double work, bring down this entire clip, and then try and mute the audio if you don't have to. If it's not necessary and you don't need the audio for, any reason, I say don't bring it with you. All right. So, like I said, I know my final video, I'm going to use music. Let's go grab that music clip. I'm going to come back up here. All right. So the first way that I showed you guys to import, you could double click inside of any open space inside of this project window. All right. Or you can right click, scroll down to import, and you can import that way. So if you're noticing, a lot of different ways to do, multiple ways to do certain things. All right, so if I go back into the site folder, I have an MP3 file. And one thing I will point out is Premiere is really funny with WAV files. So I'm not sure if that's consistent across the board. I can't remember, but most of the audio files that I bring in are MP3 files. All right, so if I'm going to edit this video, all right, what I would probably do, because I know the shots that have been taken, I'm only working with 2 shots. So I would probably bring my audio in and select the best portion of the audio file to use on my timeline. Now, because I have 2 different clips that are performances of 2 different songs, same artist, but 2 different songs, I'm only going to be able to match this artist's movement and, them singing along with one of these clips. All right, so so 37 is the okay. All right, so let's just go to the video. I'll do this first. So let's figure out a good piece of the clip where he's kind of got some energy going. And it looks like this first part does work out pretty well. Sorry for the scrubbing. Yeah. So that's pretty good. So I can take just the video. No, I'm not gonna do that because I actually want to hear. I want to hear the audio from the video because I don't know the song, honestly. So I want to be able to match the MP3 to the audio, the same audio or the same song that's on the video clip. Now this might get a little bit tricky, but we're gonna make it work because I will not be defeated. All right. So my kids, somewhat Christmas. I heard Christmas. So to give myself a marker, I'm gonna hit the C, the letter C. That's gonna create these scissors. All right. Again, C is gonna create these scissors. Let me go here first. So to go from the scissors back to the cursor, you hit the V. All right. V is in kite. No, I'm just kidding. V is in violin. To go back to the cursor, you also have your cursor tools handy right here to the left of the timeline, in between the timeline and this media browser, which also includes your effects. We'll use that later. All right, so I can go here to the scissors. At this point where he says something about Christmas, and I click to cut, it's cutting this clip in half on the video timeline, on the video track, as well as the audio track. All right. Before I do that, I'm going to render. So you give it a second to render. Like I said, depending on your RAM, will determine how long this process could take. So we're done. And if I hit the plus key and the minus key, I'm able to zoom in and out. Plus zooms you in, the minus zooms you out. And again, there's different ways to do or perform a task. If I click right here, I can zoom in and I can zoom out. All right, so let's find Christmas. So Christmas is here. Let's go back because we're gonna open up this audio file. We want that preview, and I'm gonna find Christmas. You can also zoom in inside of this preview window with the plus and minus key as well. Something about the kids. Okay. There it is. Christmas. So right before he says Christmas, I'm gonna mark in. You can click it here, or again, you can hit I. Sorry for that. That alert that just popped up. That's the auto save feature, which is pretty decent. If you want to manually save, you'll hit Command S. I would encourage you to do that whenever you make certain changes, or really every change. Just kind of get in the habit of doing it. All right. So I hit the I, or mark in. I hit that right before he says Christmas, and then let it play a little bit or stretch it forward a little bit, and I'm gonna hit O. All right. So I can only drag audio because this is only an audio file. All right. It's not a video file, it's just audio. So when I click and I drag the audio, I'm gonna take it right here where I made my cut. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it syncs the first time. That'll be great. If it does, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that means I'm really good at this. If not, still subscribe, because I'm gonna figure it out. Yep, I give you time to go subscribe. I give you time to go subscribe, man. It's actually a little bit ahead, I think. Yeah, I don't like it because it's not perfect. It's almost there. So let's see. Let me see. So all I did with the trim tool, which actually automatically pops up depending on where you move your cursor, just like the volume. And this is only on the audio section in terms of the volume, but the trim tool actually automatically pops up whenever you go to the side of a region. So I'm gonna bring it out a little bit, and I think the MP3 is a little bit ahead. If you're familiar with audio and recognizing transients, you'll see, the peaks, and the hits, like in the transients. You can kind of slide where you want things to go. But I think the MP3 was a little bit behind, so I should be going this way. Sorry about that. So it's just trial and error right here. I like it. All right. So since I like it, I'm going to grab the end of that MP3 and I'm going to stretch it from the beginning of this video clip to the end. All right. So now I know I do not need the audio from the video clips. All right. So if I hold Option and I click, I can select only the audio. All right. So notice if I just click the audio, it also highlights the video file. What I don't want to do is do that and then hit delete, because what happens? I get rid of my video file. So I want to hold Option. I'm not sure what key that is on a Windows. If you're using the Windows, it might be Alt. That's what I'm kind of seeing on this keyboard. But yeah, click one of those until you get it right. All right, so I don't want the audio. Again, Option click. Or I can delete, because I already found my space. And then just drag out your video file. All right, so let's see. So my MP3 is lined up with my video. MP3 is lined up with my video. All right, and I'm gonna move this video file up. Why am I doing this? Well, if I decide to bring in another video file, like I'm about to do with this other clip, right? Whichever region you have on top, right? The furthest, like as long as this file isn't covered, it'll play. And what I mean by that is, say for instance, I'll trim this back a little bit, and I'm gonna do this a little fast, but hopefully you guys see it. And I bring in this video file, right? So notice what naturally would happen is I would play this clip. It would stay on this clip, stay on this clip, stay on this clip, all the way through, right? Well, if I add another clip, let's say it overlaps a little bit here. Whatever's on top will take precedence. Is that a word? Precedence? Precedence? Can I say precedence? Okay. So now this clip that's on top has priority, right? So if I want to use that clip, I can do it that way. But because I know 37 is my main performance clip, I want to keep that on top, right? So if I know I want to use this portion of 38, I can slide 37 back so that when it gets to that point in the video, it's right there. All right. So 38 is now what's being shown in your monitor view. All right. So let's go back. I want to keep this though. Yeah, I want to keep that clip. Oh, okay. So I'll just go back over it. So I went back to my other clip in the project window. I double clicked it there. I went down to this mini timeline in my source window, on my preview window. Yep, and I marked in the beginning. I let it play a little bit, and then I hit O, the letter O, or I can mark out here. And again, I'm only dragging video. Why? Because I already have audio in my timeline that I want to use. So at this point, I'm only cutting video. I have my audio all here. All right. So you click it. Oh, you click the drag video only. You drag it down. All right. So let's go through and look at what we got. So it switches to that clip. All right. So notice it kind of gets a little blurry there. So I want to throw in, boom. And I'm starting to stopping, clicking back. I'm starting to stopping with spacebar. All right. So right there. And I did it kind of on the beat just because I know I'm going to switch right there on that kick. All right. So this is another trick that I use whenever I know I'm about to cut to another clip. I'll cut the clip, right? And so this kind of gives me a marker, right? Of course, if you delete it and you decide you want to bring the original back in, you could do it that way, right? Or, and I'm doing Command Z to undo. All right. Or you can leave this down here just in case your what is this thing called? What is this called? I'm sorry. This not the scrub wheel, but the timeline thing. Y'all know what that is. Anywho, I'm cutting here and I'm leaving this region here for that very reason. So say for instance, if this is gone and I knew my cut was supposed to be right here, but then I accidentally hit play, or I go here to click something and look at something, I'm like, oh dang, I forgot where it was at. Like, oh, well, I guess this region would also be safety too, because that's where it was cut off. So it's up to you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and render. So notice that was yellow. Notice this is all green, and it's gonna stay green because the only thing that's new coming into the timeline is my clip from 38, my video from 38. All right. So what I'm looking for are the best clips that potentially bring energy, but even more have pretty decent lighting. That's kind of the issue you run into with doing darker events. If you don't have a LED light, on-camera LED light. All right. Oh, didn't know that was gonna happen, but look like something drippy is about to happen. So I'm gonna hit I to mark that. Do I want that? Nah, I don't want that. Let's see if we can find something else. So I can, if I click and hold down, I can scrub forward, and it'll play. But of course, it'll give you. There's a way to mute the scrub as you're going, but we're not gonna get into that in this video because that's in the preferences, and it's quite a bit to show. Let's start it over. Let's see. Why didn't I use that? I should have used that. Okay, so I took. Let's see. So if I go there and I cut, I'm gonna letter V back to my cursor, and I'm gonna bring this new video right here above 37. I can move this back if I want to. All right, and then it's yellow, of course, so I'm gonna have to sequence, render in to out. I can play it. Yep. All right. So none of these were shot at 60 frames, so I don't have slow motion. That's kind of what I would have probably tried to get, just to add some B-roll and a different feel in this video. But there are some, I guess, basic edits that you can do to kind of add some flair to this single clip that we have. So let's zoom in. I'm gonna play it. So right there on only, let's say I wanted to add an effect. All right, right there on only. I can cut, and then I'll cut again. I'll just show you this little trick that I like to do. So if I hit V again and I highlight this section and I double click it, all right, it'll pop up back in my preview window. If I tab over to effects control, all right, let's take the cursor back in front of it. So if you notice, the clip before it that's here, all right, everything is scaled to 100. Well, a little trick that I like to do is I like for that scale to change from 100 to about 115, 116. It's up to you. So notice when I do that, this video file zooms in. So scaling is taking the video, like the lower I go, the smaller it gets, and the higher the number is, the larger it gets. All right, and it's gonna scale like in unison, like so. Notice if I take uniform scale off, I can adjust the height and I can adjust the width. All right, I don't want to do that with this. I don't see any reason you would ever do this. All right, so if I want to take everything back to 100, this reset parameter icon is here for you. I'm not gonna scale the width back to 100, and I'm gonna put this back on uniform scale because I don't want to be able to change the width and the height. I want everything to be together. All right, position, this first number allows you to move your video clip left and right. So depending on which direction you go. So I'm moving my mouse to the right and I'm moving my mouse to the left. So the lower the number, your clip moves to the left, the higher the number is moving to the right. And so the second piece, right, this 1080. If I move it to the right, the number's going up, the clip's coming down. If I move to the left, the clip is going up. All right. This could be useful. Say for instance, you got some headroom and you've scaled in, but you don't want to cut something off. You could do that. But be careful with scaling because it can add some noise and your video could lose some sharpness if you zoom in too much. All right. So I'm gonna bounce it at 115. Right, and then I'm gonna hit sequence, render in to out, and notice what happens. Did y'all see it? It's basic. Just a little tip, little trick. So zoomed in on the kick, and then popped right back out on the clap. All right. Let me go back to this other clip because I want to see if there's something I can find from this second clip so we're not looking at the same clip the entire time. Oh, but also, I've got a lot left on this first clip. Didn't think about that. That's what I was remembering seeing. So some good lighting going on in this part. So I'm not too concerned with him matching the his mouth matching the song. I'm not too concerned about that more than I am just the energy kind of carrying the video. So if I place it there, let's see. I don't like it there. Let's move it out the way. I'm just gonna listen. Maybe right there where that other kick comes in. So you can hear the kick. I really hope y'all can hear the kick. So I'm gonna cut there. Give myself a place marker so that I can track this. You don't have to move this over, but I like to for some reason. I can't explain why. Alright. Alright. So I wanted to end. I'm grabbing the scrub wheel. Play. I can't remember what this thing is called. I'm gonna figure it out. The next video, I'm gonna know what this is called, y'all. But right there on the clap, I drag that over, and that's where I want to go back to this clip, the main clip. Well, this is the main clip, but where it matches the audio. All right. So that's a pretty good shot. All right. So notice it's yellow. So what I want to do, make sure I go to sequence, and I'll render. All right. So let's say for instance, what did he say? It was up for me or something. Oh, up to me. So it's up with me. It's up with me. Let's see if we can find some kind of transition to put there. So I'm gonna cut again, and then I'm gonna go to video transitions. Let's see what we got. We got a slide. We got a wipe. We got a zoom, cross zoom. So these are some of your basic. These are some of your basic transitions, and I don't like any of these, honestly. I'll just go to my presets. All right, you guys might not have these. You can definitely get them. BJK, sorry. BJK is one of those guys that's a beast when it comes to filmmaking, and he actually offers some free presets, transitions, and titles and things of that nature that you can use. But I'm gonna drag and drop a glitch effect onto this clip where he says it's up. So if I cut, I'm gonna create my own region by cutting. Alright, so it's up with me, it's stuck with me right there. I'm not being perfect right now, I just want to show you guys how it works. Alright, if I go to BJK glitch version 10, I click, hold, drag it onto the clip, I'll drop it. As simple as that. Drag and drop. Alright, again, depending on your RAM, you may not be able to preview. So because this is one of those, it's one of those heavy effects. All right, see, I can't even play it through smoothly. Probably need like 64 gigs to play. But this is one of those effects that has a lot going on. All right, so I can't even preview it that way. So I'm gonna have to sequence render in out in order to render this effect onto this clip.
If you put something on but don't render it, will it actually play in the final video production? No.
After you, like, if you go to,
If you would have left that red, you wouldn't have did anything?
and I will file and render it in. If I exported it like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never did that. Yeah. Dang. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. If it's not the last thing I'm doing though, it will bother me anyway to see red. Yeah. Not that I don't like the color red, but because I know I didn't render that. Green means go, y'all. More of the story. Yeah, so a little razzle dazzle on the up with me. Nothing major. All right, so let's say that I want it to fade out after he says it's up with me. All right, I can go back to my effects window, video transition. I go to,
That's the end of the song anyway.
no, it's not the end of the song. It's the end of that clip that I brought in. I could have made this longer. You can make this audio clip however long you want to. I'm actually gonna shorten it. All right, and I'm gonna shorten this last clip to about right there. I go to dip to black, and I put it on that video file. So notice again, it's yellow, and notice this brown sort of strip here. If I move to the front of this, notice I have that trim tool that's there. This allows me to tell this effect, hey, don't come in until the play wheel gets there, and then your effect is gonna engage. All right. For the most part, these dissolve effects and most of these effects, they're pretty easy to just kind of put onto your clips, and when you drag them on, you're gonna have to adjust it to where you want, in terms of where you want the effect to start. All right, so this might play back. It's yellow, but it should play back. It just dissolve. Yeah. Uh-oh. I didn't want that to start back from the beginning. There is a way in the preferences to cut that off as well. Let me see, can I find it? How good am I? Playback, maybe. Let's see. Nope, it's not playback. General. See, I know I should have left it alone. I don't like feeling defeated. Play audio while scrubbing. Oh, that's in here under audio. Device control, graphics, labels, media. Where's the one so it won't play from the beginning? Timeline. So at playback in, return to the beginning when restarting playback. So if it gets to the end and you hit spacebar, that's why it started at the beginning. You don't have to have that on. So that's inside of the preferences. So I went to Premiere with the preferences, then I hit General, and it'll pull up all your preferences, and you can click through and tap through any one of these you like. All right, and then just hit OK. You don't have to restart Premiere in order for these preferences to actually be available to use or engage, if you will. All right. So I did not like how abruptly this audio stopped. So I want to stretch it out a little bit. All right. And I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways to fade out the audio. All right. But first, let's go ahead and sequence render in to out. So get rid of that yellow bar. We don't like yellow bars. All right. So my video's fading out. And in this case, I'd like for my audio to fade out as well. So constant gain. Let's start here. So notice wherever it highlights, that's where it's gonna start fading. And there's that trim tool again. You can use that to decide where you like to start fading out it. All right, so let's play it. All right, so a simple fade out using the constant gain. Not 100% sure on what's the difference between constant gain, constant power, exponential. I'm sure it's out there. If y'all find out, let me know. It's not really a big deal. Yeah, you just want to fade out the music. So mission accomplished. All right. The other thing I want to show you guys, if I go to the middle, just like where I can adjust the volume of this entire region. All right, I don't want to do that, so let's Command Z, undo that. All right, if I hold Command, notice that plus sign comes up. All right, I can make an insertion, right, by clicking. All right, if I go here, click again, it'll make another insertion. If I hold again, click, it'll make another insertion. All right, from there, what I can do is create what's called automation. So if I bring this down, so I'm basically writing what I would like for the volume. So this is only controlling volume. I'm writing what I want the volume to do as the scrub wheel is passing through this particular portion. All right. So since I want it to fade out, all right, the higher you drag your point, the higher the volume goes. All right. So if I want to start actually fading out, I'm gonna create a ramp that's gonna, you can go left or right. I'm gonna create a ramp that kind of shows what's actually gonna happen with the audio. All right. So you'll notice it kind of like a roller coaster. It kind of follows what you'll hear. So what you're seeing is what you'll hear. The volume taking a dip all the way down to 0 or negative infinity. Sorry. Yeah. In the audio world, 0 is not like no sound. It's mainly for gain. So if you're at 0, it's no gain, and you're not taking away any gain, but you can hear. I forgot the term for that too. I gotta brush up on my vocabulary. Excuse that. So yeah. So if I play that, if you're creating your own automation for the audio, you can do it however you want to. The reason this is super neat, so I can click on these points, hit delete, and it'll go back to its resting place at 0. All right. So the reason this is pretty neat. So let's say, for instance, I'm gonna zoom out. Let's say, for instance, that I wanted to, at this place in the video, I wanted to use, let's say, for instance, I wanted to use the actual audio from this clip or from 37. Right, this portion of the video. Let me see. Let's go back to 37. Let's just say there's a part in there. We're just gonna pretend. We're gonna say he stopped and said something to the crowd. All right. I'm gonna drag from the actual picture. I'm bringing in audio as well as video. So notice what's happening. I was above where the rest of my tracks were. And so it's creating a new track. All right. The audio's here. But let's say during this piece right here that I wanted to hear, I can move this up by just dragging the audio up. All right. Let's say I wanted to go in and out. So from the MP3 to the actual sound from the video. All right. Right? So I want to hear this piece instead of hearing the music, but I want the music to continue with the rest of the clips after this portion plays. And if I was to do this while I was editing, I would be able to get the audio that follows after this clip, but only brought in the video from the window, from the source window. All right. So in this case, I'm just pretending that this clip here is a continuation of this bottom clip. All right. So let's pretend for a second. He's performing, and then boom, I hear the actual audio from the video or the performance. I can then take this MP3, right? I'm holding command and I'm gonna click the point here, and then I'm gonna click point here and here, right? What I'm able to do then is dip the audio. So notice I can create a dip that'll dip the audio that's in the MP3 so that this won't be competing with this region. All right. And just so it's not coming in too hot, you can throw a fade on it. You can fade in and then fade out. I don't know why it defaults to that, but yeah, you can fade in and fade out. All right, so notice again, we got that yellow. If I sequence, render in and out, play it back. All right, so however long you want it to see this actual audio from the video, from the original video clip, it's basically up to you. But you got the freedom to move this however you like, and the same goes for however you like to, however long you like to create your dip in the actual MP3, right? So back here, so it's real quick, but you'll notice this audio from the video isn't competing with the MP3 because I created this dip in the volume. And it comes right back in because that's why I automated it to come in right after this clip goes off. All right. So that was just a little handy dandy trick in case you want to use audio from the actual performance and have the MP3 dip out. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to bring this audio, or bring this video clip back over. I'm going to delete my automation points. I think that's what they call. It's automating the volume. All right. I'm hitting the minus key to zoom out. And let's go ahead and add. A constant gain fade out on this. Bring it up some. I want to start fading out before the video actually dips to black. All right, so maybe not when that effect goes on that region. Let's try right there. All right, so that's that. And what we'll do in the next video is go over how to put in titles. All right.